الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي ibn al-Husayn وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. First and foremost, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the tawfiq, not only tonight but throughout the days of Azar, from the night of Jandarat, from the 1st of Muharram till today, to commemorate the Azar, the majlis of the Ahlul Bayt. Whilst we wait for Qibla Sahib to arrive, I'll just mention a few points on the area of sabr, patience, before inshallah, if we do have time, focusing on the aql, and then what lessons as a whole we can take from these 2 months and 8 days of Azar. So first and foremost, patience. You see, patience is of 3 types. The first type is sabr for the wajibaks. It's cold at night. It's going to get even colder in December. Maybe -3 in the morning. When you wake up for Fajr, you have to have some patience. Despite the coldness of the outside and the warmth of your bed, you force yourself to get up. That's a type of patience. In Ramadan, in the summer, you fast for 16, 17, maybe 18 hours. And mashallah, throughout the other 11 months, we might not know what time is Maghrib. When it's Ramadan, everyone knows what time is Maghrib. If I say as a joke as well, people even know how many seconds left as well. That's how much we know for breaking the fast. So the first type is for wajibaks. Things like going to Hajj, when you know you have some financial money, but then do you want to spend all of it on this? No, you have sabr, you perform your wajib first. That's the first type. The second type, in my opinion, I would say very humbly, is even harder, which is what? Staying away from haram. Protecting your wajib, which is the first type, by staying away from haram. There's a beautiful story, they say, quote by Rumi, the Iranian poet, who said that the background to this is this. Every night these people would put their wheat in a storage room. They would come the next day and the wheat would be finished, gone. But the door or the window, there was nothing broken, so there was no signs of someone coming in. But how does this wheat get taken away every night? One day they said, we are going to sleep in this room. We'll see what happens. Do you know what they found? It was little rats coming in and eating up all the wheat. So Rumi very beautifully here says, the rats could eat the wheat. How about the rats of our heart? When we perform salah, fasting, all these wajibaks, what about the rats within our heart that eat up our good deeds? For example, it's all fine if I pray at home and I show everyone I'm a nice person, but if I go back home and I start backbiting, or if I then have hasad or jealousy, God forbid, all those good deeds become of a lesser quality. This is the harder type, and which is why we sometimes have problems. My dua is not being answered, it's because of me, myself. There's a famous quote, we were taught in madrasa this, that when you point at someone, know there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. When you point, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. So every time you look at someone else, judge yourself first 3 times. When we were in madrasa, and our teacher told us this, we read this, one of the kids started saying, well, I can do this as well. That technically is not pointing, that's gesturing. Pointing is with the finger. So that's another type. The third type of patience, sabr, is with calamities. Calamities in the sense something bad happens to you. It is said in the Holy Quran, Surah Zumar, verse number 10, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّ الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. This, in this journal, Sheikh Shumali has mentioned, this ayah of Surah Zumar, verse number 10, it's the only verse in the whole Quran which says God will bless those and reward those who have sabr with a reward which is incalculable, without measure, بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. This is the only place in the Quran. And what is it for? Having patience. Patience not in the sense that something wrong happens and I sit at home and say I'm doing sabr. Or if I see injustice happening, I say no, I'm doing sabr. No, sabr in the sense I've tried my best, but this problem is not going away, so in the face of it, I'll have sabr. I won't start complaining to God. Why me? Why this? We find in Karbala the same thing. For example, Lady Zainab, when Hazrat Ona Muhammad became Shaheed, they came back and they saw Bibi Zainab in sajda, saying Shukran Lillah, thanking God. Imam Qadim alayhi salam, those 14 years in prison, you know, with Prophet Yusuf, he was in prison, he began complaining, crying. He would tell the other prisoners, I don't want to go into this, but he would tell the other prisoners, this was a form of tarki awla, they say, go to the king and do my safarish, as they say in Urdu. Go and talk to the king to let me free. On this side we find Imam Qadim alayhi salam, 14 years saying, Subbuhun, Quddusun, Rabbuna, wa Rabbal Malaikati wa Ruh. This is the sabr of Imam Qadim alayhi salam. This was in the face of what? Calamity. Having sabr, patience. Elsewhere in the Quran, you know, we find this world, we think it should be all joy and playful and being happy. No, this world is created with difficulties. Prophet Adam, when he was told to leave heaven, it was said, go to the land where there is calamity. So naturally it will be within this. Before I finish off, let's look at what examples and from these 2 months, 8 days we can take from Karbala. I've mentioned this before. You see, throughout history, people have tried to make this gham hidden. They tried to suppress it. But year upon year, those of you who have been to Arba'in, may you all get to go year upon year. You've seen the numbers are increasing. No matter how much they try to suppress it, it becomes more and more and more. I'll give you 2 short examples and I'll finish with this. During the Iran-Iraq war, there was one Shaheed who they found his body many years after. Saddam said, put the Shaheed's body in the sun. Let it decay. Let it stay in the sun. They put the Shaheed's body in the sun and nothing happened. The heat of Iraq in the summer, nothing happened. So he said, pour some acid onto his face. God forbid, acid is a very corrosive substance. In this country, if you throw acid at someone in an acid attack, you get life imprisonment. They started pouring acid on this young man's face, but it was like water. It would be coming off and nothing would be happening. So when they gave the body back, the people asked the mother of this young Shaheed, what did your son do that they put acid on his face and nothing happened? You know what the answer was? His mother said when he went to the majlis of Hussein and he would cry, he would rub the tears on his face. This Shaheed would never miss the ghusl of Jummah. This is what you can get from Imam Hussein. One more example. Sheikh Hasoon Talekhani, a famous scholar from Najaf, he went to Mashhad. When he came back, he said, was there a man called Muhammad Nasar from Najaf that died? They said, Agha, you've gone to Mashhad. There's no communications, no Wi-Fi, nothing. How did you know that this person died in Najaf? He said, when I was in Mashhad, I had a dream in which I saw people around this person, Muhammad Nasar's funeral. I asked them, you are not from Najaf. This man is from Najaf. Who are you all? What are you doing here? The reply came, this man, Muhammad Nasar, used to recite majlises for Imam Hussein. All these people are the Shuhada of Karbala. Hazrat Habib, Abis, Burain, they've all come for his funeral. As we close these periods of mourning, I don't like to say so, but because this mourning will continue. Why? Because my heart says, there's still that Bibi who is in Baqi. Maybe in Baqi, this is the Mazlumiyat of Bibi Fatima. May you be blessed with the ziyarah of Medina. When you go to the ziyarah of Medina, ask any ulama when you go there, where is the grave of Bibi Fatima? They'll tell you, maybe it's in the haram of Rasulullah. Maybe it's in our own house. Maybe it's in Baqi. Where do we stand and read our ziyarah? That Bibi is still mourning for Hussein. It is said for Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam, when it was his final moments, the poison was affecting him. When he left this world, Imam Mehdi could not cry loudly. He was of 5 years of age. Why could Imam Mehdi not cry loudly? Because the spies were around the house. So Imam Mehdi, the Imam of your time, of my time, began crying, but he had to hold his voice. He couldn't cry loudly. I would say, Imam Zamana, you could at least cry for your father. my mind takes me to Karbala, where there was a 4-year-old girl who also wanted to cry for her father. Every time she would try to cry, they would pull her hair. They would begin slapping her on her face. They would pull strings within her neck and pull her neck. When the babies would try to cry, they would be whipped. Imam Zamana, at least you could cry. I'll finish off with this. Oh Imam Mehdi, another thing, at least you could bury your father. You knew he was within the ground. On the 11th of Muharram, when the Qafla was being prepared to take him to Kufa, Saad gave a call, "Oh horse riders, sharpen the hooves of your horses." Why? Trample on the body of Habib. But the Banu Asad were present there. They said, "You've killed our son. This humiliation we won't take." So they removed Habib's body. Then he said, Hur, Abis, Burain, all these famous companions. But they had someone to remove their body. So he came to the Bani Hashim. The body of Ali Akbar, Abbas, Oud, Muhammad. But they had someone to remove the body. Then he said, Qasim. I would say, what was left of Qasim? You've already trampled his body. But Bibi Farwa's tribe was there, they removed his body. Then he gave a call, is there anyone here who has no waris, no one to help him? There were 2 bodies left in the plains of Karbala. There was the son of Bibi Fatima, Imam Hussein, but there was the son of Bibi Rubab, Ali Asghar alayhi salam. The horses began trampling on these 2 holy bodies, which is why when you go to Karbala, you've seen the Qatlgah of Imam Hussein, and you've seen where he's buried. Why is there such a gap? Because that's the gap they kicked Imam Hussein's body. I'll finish off with this. When Imam Sajjad then came on the 12th of Muharram to bury his father, the Banu Asad were confused. There's bodies without heads, bodies without arms. Who do we bury where? Imam Sajjad said, I will help you. This is the grave of Habib, bury him here. This is the grave of the Shuhadas, bury all the Shuhadas here. Then they came to a body which was trampled by the hooves. Imam Sajjad said, stop right there. This is my father Hussein. Only a ma'soom can bury a ma'soom. So he said, bring me a mat, a prayer mat. Why Imam Sajjad? Because Imam Hussein's body was in so many pieces. Imam Sajjad began putting this mat out. He then started walking around the plains of Karbala. The Banu Asad said, oh Imam Sajjad, why are you walking around? He said, I am picking up the pieces of my father. Imam Hussein picked up the pieces of Qasim. Imam Sajjad picked up the pieces of Hussein. When he buried Imam Hussein and he was about to leave, they said, oh Sajjad, there's a body by the Firat. When we try and lift this body up, the other side crumbles. Who is this body? Imam Sajjad began crying out, that is my uncle Abbas. He went to the body of Hazrat Abbas, he buried Hazrat Abbas. But my heart says this, maybe Imam Sajjad was also crying. Oh Uncle Abbas, if you could see what they did to the babies after you. Oh Uncle Abbas, if you could see Bibi Sakina and how they treated her. Oh Uncle Abbas, if you could see Bibi Sakina and how they treated her. We ask Allah to accept all of our sadaris within this last 2 months and 8 days.